Hey, I'm Harry Mays, and an AFC contender got themselves a wide receiver, but it wasn't the New England Patriots.
Ooh, I'm Jason Martinez. The Eagles have solved their problem, and they didn't have to go far to do it at their tight end position with Dallas Goedert.
I'm Louie DiBiase. Hollywood Brown is the new wide receiver 3, and I think he is the perfect fit in this offense.
I'm Marc Farzetta. What the hell is going on with Dallas Goedert? That deal is so low, it has me concerned. All that and more in this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
And welcome into Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, Louie DiBiase, Marc Farzetta with you. It's a great day to be a wide receiver. At least you cost a lot in terms of picks if you're Jaylen Waddle, and don't cost all that much if you're Marquise Hollywood Brown. Coming to the Philadelphia Eagles just moments ago, Jeff McClain, Inquirer.com, putting it out there that the Philadelphia Eagles made the acquisition of Hollywood Brown. Louie, I know you just did a short for it here on Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. When it comes to Hollywood Brown coming to Philadelphia, I just look at it as a more or less Jahan Dotson replacement, if anything. How do you look at it?
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think this has anything to do with A.J. Brown. This is not a wide receiver 2 replacement, but I think he's the style of player that I want in the wide receiver 3 role. When you look at Jahan Dotson's just lack of targets, lack of volume in the offense the past couple of years, I don't think that's going to change this year at wide receiver 3. So I would rather have somebody like Hollywood Brown that can stretch the field vertically, that has that kind of speed where he can impact the game maybe on just a couple touches, because that's all he's going to get. So having that kind of like niche role of a home run hitter is kind of what I like in this spot. And he was solid last year, 49 catches in Kansas City, 587 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's a lot more than anything Dotson did in Philly. So it's a former first-round pick with a 1-year deal, not a lot of money. I think it's a smart signing.
Harry, 1 year, $6.5 million for Marquise Brown.
Yeah, 1-year deal for this guy. I know I refuse to call him Hollywood because I'm out on Hollywood. And to me, he hasn't really lived up to the Hollywood nickname ever since he's been in the league. He came in with a lot of hype, and he's been okay. And that's what he'll probably be with the Eagles. He'll be okay. He'll be in that role of the 3 receiver. Like Louie said, he still has that home run capability with speed. And if Jalen Herz chooses to look to his 3rd receiver a little bit more than he has in previous years, maybe he will make some big plays for this team. But it's really dependent upon whatever this new offense looks like and whether Jalen Herz decides to look his way and trust him.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, right? Like if you're going to a team with a quarterback like Jalen Herz and you're a stretch the field 3rd receiver, you got to look at it and go, I'm probably not going to get a lot of opportunity because he ain't going to go through a progression to get all the way to me. I'm not going to be featured a ton. And because if the quarterback eventually becomes under pressure, he's going to run, use his legs to get out. So I wonder why that would be an attractive destination for a guy like Brown, who comes in, as you said, I mean, sounds like one of those nicknames he gave himself at Oklahoma. Yeah. The whole Hollywood in Oklahoma. Yeah. Not really, brother. Come on, chill. And he hasn't lived up to the hype, Harry, as a first-round pick. But look, he does have pretty good numbers. 5 touchdowns last year is pretty impressive. You're talking about what position he plays. So maybe they need a little help in the red zone. Maybe he can bring a little bit of that in those situations. As far as Dotson, I mean, like I said, Dotson needs to remove Penn State from his resume as an alum. He just didn't do enough for me. Thought he was good in college, didn't do enough in the NFL. So it's kind of a swap out. Consequential, maybe, but we'll see.
Maybe the new offensive coordinator can scheme up different ways to get the ball in this guy's hands with all his speed. That maybe in a deep, the way Deebo Samuel might have used to get the ball. I don't know.
Like a rub on the outside, Harry.
Be creative.
Yeah, like a little rub route on the outside and have him some open field in front of him to use that burner speed. Right. Or go over the top every once in a while, for God's sake.
And Jalen Hurts is a great deep ball passer, right? So I feel like this is the kind of player you want in the offense, and you hope that if they do add more West Coast concepts with Sean Mannion running the attack, that he does go through his progressions more. Is that a projection? Probably. It's a big projection right now because he doesn't really do that. But if so, yeah, I think you might need this wide receiver role to upgrade. And the thing is, too, if A.J. Brown is gone and let's say you replace him with like a rookie, that might also heighten the importance of this spot. So, yeah, I think it's an upgrade.
Think about it too, Louie. We have not gone through either of the last 2, 3, or 4 seasons without one of the receivers being out for multiple games.
That's a good point too, right?
I mean, that's the thing.
And if AJ's gone, like you're one injury away from being in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, and then here's the deal. Did you have faith in Dotson if you moved him into the Devontae Smith role that he could handle it? No. Do we have more faith in Hollywood Brown? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I would say. Yeah.
But we knew the other guy couldn't.
Correct.
So we're not repeating the same mistake.
Yeah, as of right now, you're running it back as an offense, and we'll get more into the Dallas Goedert deal and what that means. But the other side of things here is how how Marquise Brown affects A.J. Brown. We've agreed. I think we've all go around the horn already and say it doesn't really impact. You're talking about a number 3 wide receiver at best.
Better not.
An upgrade, right? An upgrade from what you had last year in Jahad Dotson. Now the Jaylen Waddle deal is something that people can look at because after DJ Moore got dealt, for a lot more than people anticipated, you're now looking at another wide receiver who got dealt for a late first-round pick, which is exactly what we've been talking about here with the New England Patriots potentially parting ways with their late first-round pick for A.J. Brown if he, in fact, does get dealt. A first-round pick for Waddle, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick goes from the Denver Broncos to the Miami Dolphins for the services of Jaylen Waddle. And, Harry, we've been talking about the flip-flops and all that. Does this help? Or does this more solidify the idea that A.J. Brown will stay here in Philadelphia? When you look at the Jaylen Waddle deal, how does it impact your stance on A.J. Brown here by week 1 or gone by week 1?
Well, it hasn't really impacted. I still think he's going to be playing for another team come September. But it just goes to show you that Howie Roseman has a price, and he's sticking to it. Like he's not budging. He doesn't want to, he's going to tell everybody out there that he doesn't ever want to part with A.J. Brown, much less before the next season. He wants to keep him forever. He's going to have him move into a wing of his house at some point. He loves him so much. And he loves him so much that he's not parting ways unless he gets what he demands. And that's the way I look at this.
All right, Jason, a
Shefty
first-round pick. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I mean, like Shefty has talked about it, right? Where this whole situation is. And it seems to be shifting week by week where, is the agent putting information out there that several teams are interested or, he's going to be a part of the conversation. That June 1st date is kind of the milepost, right? Because of the ramifications of the cap hit against the Eagles, if he's here or not here at that point. So there's your first pressure point, but we're a while from that. I mean, we're at St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Happy St. Patty's Day, boys. All these Italians, they don't care about St. Patty's.
For those who
I was waiting for Marc.
To those who celebrate. Yeah.
But we're a while from that, and there's a lot that can happen between now and then with free agency, draft, and all that stuff. So I don't know how to handicap this because I don't know what's going to happen, who's going to be available, in free agency. Do you get what team didn't get their guy but now needs the guy?
Mm-hmm.
I like this, though, because now you see Denver, an AFC power. You saw Buffalo improve their wide receiver position a little while ago with a trade. Baltimore and New England are, back. I mean, they're the other two teams, right, in that conference. You got to. It's an arms race at some point, guys. You know what I'm saying? It literally is. And if you got A.J. Brown out there, maybe this does play off between Baltimore and New England, driving that price to where Howie Roseman is like, all right, I'll move him.
I can't say no.
Right.
Louie, what side have you been on? What side does this flip you to, at least when it comes to A.J. Brown?
I don't know. I'm torn because I think it makes Howie Roseman dig in even more on his asking price. Like if Jaylen Waddle is going to go for a 1 and a 3 and then 4th round pick swaps, why the heck would I take anything less than a 1st and a 2nd round pick? So in that way, that's a good sign. This trade, I think, helps the Eagles' leverage of their asking price, but
validates the value. Yeah, totally.
At the same time, this takes one of the teams out of the running that could have been interested in A.J. Brown. And because it raises the asking price based on Waddle's value, does this mean teams are going to be even less likely to do a trade with AJ? So I'm torn still, but I do think it helps that if a deal gets done, I don't think we're going to be upset about the value, because I don't think Howie's going to accept anything less than a 1 and a 2 at this point.
Yeah, I have maintained the idea that AJ Brown is going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles next year. I want AJ Brown to play for the Philadelphia Eagles next year.
I totally do.
Well, so do I.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We're all in
Good. We're on that.
Yeah,
We're all on the same page
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Yeah.
June 1st, I've also called, and you call it the mile market there, Jason. I think you're absolutely right. That's really, if you really want to think the Eagles are going to trade him, that's the time that they would trade him, after June 1st, because the money goes from $40 million, $20 million cap hit. We've avoided it with Dallas Goedert already. We'll get to that in a second. But as far as the A.J. Brown situation goes, if you're Howie Roseman, you're kicking your feet up, you're putting your hands behind your head, and you're looking in the mirror going, you are talented, because everything has played into your hands when it comes to winning a potential trade, or when it comes to winning football games with a proven commodity in A.J. Brown as a wide receiver still on your football team. You have played this so beautifully that everything else across the market has fallen into place. Waddle is the most perfect example of it when you talk about a late first-round pick. And if you're Howie Roseman, why would you do anything other than hold out on A.J. Brown until you have less money on the cap hit and you could still get more in the return for the trade? The other part of it is, I've listened to the national guys, Mike Garafolo, Adam Schefter, talk about how this is going to get done in a couple days. Oh, this is not going to get done. Oh, this is going to get, not going to get done. This is going to get done. Not
It's
gonna
every
get done.
day. It's
It
different
just
story every day. Yeah.
Back and forth, which leads me to this. What makes the Philadelphia Eagles in this window to win a better football team right now? A.J. Brown on the team or A.J. Brown off the team? There's an easy answer to that. That's why I default to he will be back playing football again for the Philadelphia Eagles in the upcoming season. Because even the New England Patriots, I don't think that they're going to buckle in a major way to go, all right, first and a second, A.J. Brown, or two number ones and an A.J. Brown. Now, you talk about two number ones, A.J., it's been nice knowing you. See you later. You talk about first and a second, A.J., it's been great having you. Nice to see you. Bye-bye. But I don't think that they're going to buckle the New England Patriots, not even the Ravens. You're talking
Do
about
you
an
think
arms
Mike
race.
Vrabel has looked at that tape of that Super Bowl and that AFC Championship game with that offense that they had that only won because Denver's quarterback was out?
No.
They need points.
Yeah.
They need explosion plays. AJ's explosion.
Or
Howie's got
you
so
sit
much-
there and wait patiently.
I think
Howie's
Mark's right that I don't think a trade is going to happen, though. I think this trade means there's a better chance Howie gets the value he wants, but I think it's less likely that a trade actually happens, because I don't know if there's now enough teams to start this arms race.
It's too rich
Harry
for some teams.
Yeah, Harry mentioned Baltimore and New England, but it's like the Rams are reportedly out. Denver now is going to be out. Buffalo
Well,
is
if you were Howie, would you trade him to the Rams?
absolutely not.
No way.
Unless they're
Lord.
giving me the 13th overall pick,
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. I mean,
Yeah,
I would
okay.
ask the world from them.
Right,
I'm not sending him
right.
to the Rams. No.
Right.
Yeah. I just, this is such an absolute masterclass. And
Yeah,
I hate
agree.
to, oh my God, I hate so much to just laud any general manager or president of team operations, whatever, in this regard. But damn, Howie, as far as this goes, this is just a thing of beauty. And maybe it's because Dave Dombrowski has just handled everything terribly in the offseason for the Phillies. Maybe I just look at the other way and go, it's just so the extreme.
It's a low bar, yeah.
I know. But Howie just, God, man, that's incredible.
Like
Absolutely
Howie can
incredible.
just sit back on a Zoom call with a GM and he can be kicked back with his feet up on the desk. Be like, you're going to have to blow me out of this chair
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I have a 29-year-old running
Or
back.
blow me in this chair.
Yeah.
You take your pick. Okay.
Take your pick.
Yeah. It's your call.
That's a weekend call, Harry.
All right. Yeah.
But because he's got a 29-year-old running back. He just signed his tight end. They're bringing those guys back. Their window is more open this year than it would be the next year if you just kept bringing it back, because then you're looking at a 31-year-old running back in Saquon. They don't hold up. A lot of the players on the offensive side of the ball, it's kind of now or never for these guys, a year or two. So trading one of your best receivers right now, I'm not saying it closes the Eagles' window of winning a Super Bowl completely, but it doesn't open it any further right now, even with a first-round pick.
Yeah, it is absolutely. I mean, I haven't been absolutely impressed with a lot that has gone on with this offseason, unfortunately. We can get to Ibukady in a second, the Eagles' new defensive or edge rusher that they just got from the Falcons this week. We'll get more into Marquise Brown, obviously, as the show goes on, and Dallas Goedert and all that. But, man, there hasn't been a lot to really impress you so far this offseason, but when it comes to the way Howie has handled A.J. Brown, it is absolutely spectacular. And in that regard, there's one other thing to look at, though, and it has to do with Jalen Hurts and a story that was out there on The Athletic with Jalen Hurts and his first real words regarding Sean Mannion, his first public words about Sean Mannion and the offense the Eagles intend to run. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. We'll be back right after this. And right now I'm going to tell you about Indeed, as in Indeed-sponsored jobs. Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of this, especially when you're talking about workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. Indeed-sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for with skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. You're actually putting your post in front of the right candidate. That's how Indeed-sponsored jobs works. It works so well, as a matter of fact, that just in the brief amount of time I've been telling you about Indeed-sponsored jobs, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, including Indeed Data Worldwide, according to Indeed Data Worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who actually fit your job description with Indeed-sponsored jobs. Less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates that check all the boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. It's called efficiency. And listeners of this show, by the way, will get $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. And also let them know that you found out about Indeed-sponsored jobs by way of listening to Locked On Eagles Squad Show or watching Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed-sponsored jobs. Sean Mannion, we have not heard a peep from him, as expected. We have not heard anything other than Saquon Barkley being on ESPN to promote a blood drive a few weeks ago. Say, hey, Sean Mannion seems impressive, but they didn't get a chance to talk X's and O's. Finally, we have heard, and maybe we'll hear something from Dallas Goedert if he addresses the media after his new deal, but finally we've at least heard from Jalen Hurts, who spoke to Zach Berman of The Athletic about Sean Mannion as an offensive coordinator and play caller. The word Jalen Hurts used was, quote, amazed. He's amazed by Sean Mannion. Apparently in their first conversation, he's amazed by him. Harry, I think you're a fantastic. I mean, this is a compliment. I think you're a fantastic skeptic.
Are you sure? I'm amazed they hired him.
I am.
You know, he was amazed when Patullo got the job. He was amazed in week 12 that he still had the job.
No, I don't think he ever praised Patullo, though, publicly.
He did not.
That I can remember, anyway.
Go back and watch his first interview when they hired Patullo.
Yeah.
It was not praiseworthy at all.
Yeah.
Yep. It was so low with Patullo that he actually complimented Nick Sirianni. I remember that.
Okay. I'm real curious about this. When I saw this, it's like, what in this brief encounter, because it's not like, he spent like the weekend with him going over the playbook. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is probably something pretty brief. But nice he must have, like an elevator pitch. He must have freaking wowed him with just a couple of few dazzling things that he's excited about working with Jalen with, and he can see Jalen doing X, Y, and Z. And Jalen, bought it. And the guy it's like meeting somebody in an elevator and then going up 6 floors. You tell them your life story, and in 6 floors you get off and you find out that's the person you're interviewing with in 20 minutes, and you just went up the elevator with him. You're like, wow. I hope I blew him away, and apparently he did. So,
first impression.
Yeah, I'd really like to know how this went down. This is where we need video. How come there's video of everything on the internet that people do where they fight, do all this crazy stuff, but there's no video? Where was Zach Berman with his phone and a video?
I don't know.
Hard
we
knocks
got all
off
the video of
building
stuff
already,
we don't
sadly.
need.
Right.
We have no video of the stuff we
Of
do
what
need.
we do need.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He must
It's
be a good
encouraging.
pitcher. A guy that can, pitch his abilities, Mannion, pretty well, because his resume didn't get him hired. He didn't come in.
It's not long enough.
He's not coming in as a proven play caller.
Yeah.
And they talked to 2 proven play callers that decided to go elsewhere. So he obviously either came in and he was the last man standing, which I don't think is the case, or he came in and they were like, this guy's got something. And you guys know what that's like. In the first 5 minutes you meet somebody in our business, you know already. You go, no, you ain't gonna do it. You find out right away. Do they have the charisma, the creativity, and the ability to articulate it right away? And if he can give you that 90-second elevator speech and intrigue you, then maybe he is a guy that can pitch himself. And maybe that's what, Jalen Herz is reacting to. Just a quick conversation. It was probably just introductory. Hey, man, how you doing?
Yeah.
Looking forward to working with you. And Mannion says, I can't wait to work with you too. Your tools, we do a lot of great things, blah, blah, blah. If he did it and it felt genuine and it hit home, then maybe, I am amazed. I'm amazed at this guy's got a lot of positivity and a lot,
Think of how many times Jalen
guy.
Hurts has been through this over the last 6 or 7 years with with a new coach.
If anyone deserves to be skeptical at first, it would be Jalen Hurts.
Exactly.
Who, by the way, is not a very praiseworthy person. Like, he's not a very praising individual where he, in interviews is just glazing people. You know what I mean? So I think this is a worthy takeaway. And I went back and actually watched his initial interview when they promoted Kevin Patullo, and it was not this similar energy. So I think, and again, when you combine the fact that that's just not Jalen's style, and he has dealt with this so much, like you said, Harry, every single year, and he's still saying that he's amazed by Sean Mannion. Again, it's only one compliment, one comment from the quarterback. We got a long way to go to see if this works out, but I think that's an encouraging sign.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the most intriguing thing about camp is the first time he's available, Mannion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll be either rookie camp or OTAs.
Probably OTAs.
Yeah. So that is the interesting thing. And Harry, to your point, man, when you said, go up 6-7 floors with him, Jalen's got to be thinking, for every floor we've gone up, that's been one offensive coordinator in my life. So it's been a lot. It happens that quick. So you better. And
that's as many play calls as they had in the book last year. As many floors as there were, like 6 or 7. We're already out of plays.
I think still the biggest offseason acquisition or change that we're going to take is Sean Mannion. Like, the Eagles are looking at Sean Mannion saying, like, he better be amazing. And hey, Sean Mannion, you better be amazing. If we're going to say thanks, but no thanks to Jeff Stoutland, if we're going to give you talent, like if AJ Brown's back and we're giving you Dallas Goedert again and this offense and an offensive line fresh off a trip from Colombia to be back and ready to go. Hey, have at it, man. Let's see what you got. You better be amazing.
We got Medellin stem cells in here. Okay.
Are they now? They're out
That's right.
They're out of Stoutland University and now the University of Medellin. Okay, that's where they're at. That's where they're at right now.
Alfredo,
so they're giving them all those tools.
Said that Zach Berman also said he nodded his head though and said he's amazing. The head nod says everything. It was just amazing. I'm more confused now. Like, what would the head nod be with the word amazing?
If it was like emphatic enough where he's like really nodding fast, like maybe that's exciting for him. I don't know.
Or is it, I can do it 3 ways. Or like I can go amazing.
I'll say there's a sarcastic way you could do it too. So I would like to see the video.
I can also go
doubling down on Harry's take. We need video footage of all these interactions.
Like amazing. They're giving us a guy that's never called plays to replace another guy that never called plays with a head coach who doesn't call plays.
Yeah. Not only can't, like physically can't.
I think he
refuses
refuses at this point. I think he's scared of it.
He refuses because he knows he can't do it.
Yeah. Well, he tried to get more involved last year. That didn't help anything. That didn't help anything.
At the end of that one game, we saw that video of that huddle. We had video that time. He had nothing to say.
Oh, that was the playoffs. That was against the 49ers. Yeah, he was the quiet one.
No.
Yeah.
It was dumbfounded looks by Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo be like, dial up that other one. That's what I envisioned.
It was just a bunch of guys that never had play calling. And look, Sean Mannion doesn't have play calling experience from a coaching perspective, but like Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, these guys just, even when they were with other teams, like Nick Sirianni wasn't this just, wizard of a play caller in Indianapolis, right? Whereas Sean Mannion at least played the quarterback position. He has some sort of background with play calling and the way all of this works. So I don't know. Again, it's a very low bar. It's considering what the Eagles have come from, but I guess this is an exciting first. I don't want to say first step, but some news. Like you said, we haven't really heard much from anybody outside of a Saquon interview. So I think it's a good first comment.
Louie, I agree with you. I think the fact that he played quarterback, versus if I have two non-guys who haven't called plays, but one of them was a quarterback,
exactly,
he has an edge to me because he basically has called plays,
right?
And he knows the mechanics of it, the rhythm of calling plays.
And these former backup quarterbacks have a great history of becoming good play callers, and that's
he knows he needs to get the call and get it in quick.
Because
he knows why. He's felt that what it's like
it's not
when
a
they get the call.
coincidence.
That's not a coincidence. I think it's a big thing that you've been in the shoes of a guy that's on the other end of that headset when you're putting the play calls in. So I think that's a big thing. I do agree.
I just go back to how you need to change so much in this offense to the point where you're literally referencing two other head coaches in the NFL, where you remember that week, I called it the week ago press conference leading up to the combine, before Howie spoke, before Nick Sirianni spoke. A week prior, they had talked to the media and basically said, sit on this before we, the day of, you guys can drop this in the morning and then we're going to talk that afternoon. Well, they basically picked it up as the Shanahan McVay offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want to do. It's like, two other head coaches that call plays. That's what you want to do. And you want to change your blocking scheme on your offensive line.
Wasn't LaFleur thrown in there too?
LaFleur's name, there was a smattering of that, but it was like, it was heavily referred to as the Shanahan McVay offense. Yeah. And I'm thinking that's the idea, but if you have success with this, do you then let the guy who called the plays in that offense helped you install that offense? Do you then just let him go again in the offseason? If this, hey, look, if
that'll
you make a Super Bowl,
that'll be an interesting dilemma. That'll be a fun
hey, look, that's cart before the horse. I get it. But, do we not see the vicious cycle that the Eagles are very much in right now, and now even more so in? Because now they're going to get away even more so from whatever Nick Sirianni brought to the table here in Philadelphia from an offensive perspective. Even Kellen Moore decided to go along with more of what Sirianni did in 2022 prior to 2024. So you're bringing in a totally different system. A new coaching staff, essentially, too, on the offensive side of things. You're going to turn things over defensively because Vic Fangio, I'd be shocked if he goes one more year after this upcoming season. So it just continues to be that vicious cycle. So if Jalen Hurts finds this system beneficial, if he is able to thrive in this system, if Sean Mannion gets the best,
if you will.
There you go. True. Another word for it. Well, to Nick Sirianni, it's certainly a revolutionary idea.
It would be.
Yeah. Like, whoa. Throw over the middle more. Are you sure?
Fire.
Yeah.
It's just.
Wait, you can use pre-snap motion in an effective way? Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I thought it was just to see if somebody was in man.
When they changed that rule?
Then it's Jeffrey Lurie's dilemma. How do I find a way to keep this guy? Make him my head coach and.
I'd make him the head coach. It's not a coincidence if they have success again this year and they bounce back and make another Super Bowl run. Look at the reasons they bounce back and then look at the years that they fall.
Yeah.
And there's a direct correlation. So if I was Jeffrey Lurie in that hypothetical world that we're talking about living in, I would not let Sean Mannion go. But Howie Roseman did say at their end of the year press conference with him and Nick that if they keep losing coaches because of good seasons, they're willing to live with that reality. That to me says they would just continue moving forward with this every other year kind of thing. That would drive me absolutely nuts.
You can't fire Sirianni. If they get to an NFC title game, they lose.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to fire Sirianni.
Although I think a lot of NFL teams would sign up for Super Bowl run, first round and out every year. I think if you could sign on the dotted line, most teams would take that.
That's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. You're going to have a down year, quote unquote, the following year, but you still win the division. I mean,
I'm just saying, in that hypothetical, that's a best case scenario for Sean Mannion. And if that does happen, can you afford to let him leave?
Yeah,
I
don't think you can.
But I'm with you. I think they would, but I wouldn't let him leave. No.
And the byproduct of having a good year is the Eagles having a good year. So the head coach also had a good year.
Marc made a good point too. Yeah, how many coaches are attached that you're bringing in because of Sean Mannion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Right. Grizzard.
That's been the thing that's been different. There's been a lot of other elements that have taken shape.
Yeah.
Allen's gone. Was that
Right.
part of it? I don't know.
Because of Sean Mannion. Yeah, like
Right.
a big reason they were comfortable letting maybe the best offensive line coach ever walk out the door is because they are so committed to marrying everything up.
It's a total upheaval. It really is.
Has there ever been a coach with this little experience that's gotten this much pull, like right from the start?
Again, that's why I can't wait to hear him talk, because he must have a Jedi mind trick.
Well, not
These are not the droids.
Not that it has never been a coach before, a head coach. Like Chip Kelly was a college head coach and came to the pros, and there was a lot of upheaval
with a revolutionary idea.
A totally revolutionary thing. It was an experiment, if you will. But no, I mean, I can't think of anybody that's never called plays, never been a head coach, never been a successful player. I mean, he was a middling backup quarterback for a little while. He played college at Oregon State. It's not like he played at
Hopefully
Alabama.
there's no Beaver fans watching the show right now.
It's like this guy's like, all of a sudden they're moving mountains for this guy.
Yeah, they brought in his tight end, Johnny Munt.
Yeah, they brought in his tight end. They brought in his tight end's coach, the offensive line coach. I mean, yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Farsi's going to get a
Johnny
jersey.
Munt, the signing.
You got to get a jersey.
Hang up right next to the Cooper jersey above the bed.
Well, we got to get him his Justin Simmons jersey first.
Oh yeah, where is he? Is he still out there?
A free agent. He didn't play all of last year. The Eagles need a safety. Maybe we'll get back on that train.
Yeah, I might want to take that one back.
Do you guys want to hear the fun bonus show I did yesterday? I discussed that Keely Ringo should move.
Oh no, I was gonna.
No,
I was hoping you guys were gonna see that on the channel.
I did.
Move to safety.
Don't think I didn't see that.
I had some time to kill last night.
I saw.
I'm like, the guys are gonna love this one.
I saw it and I went, oh, Louie.
I knew the eyes would roll. I can't help myself.
Ringo moved to safety. Oh God, well, chef's kiss. That's how you get a show.
Got to play
that's
the
how
hits
you do it.
sometimes.
That's called a pro. That's called a program right there. You know,
right.
That's so great. But I don't know what the hell are we talking about. Oh, we were talking about Sean Mannion being amazed and all that stuff. Could you imagine though? And I have had this thought. I haven't necessarily woken up in cold sweats over it, but I have had the thought of so much is built up where he's supposed to be this boy wonder. Right. Mm-hmm. Everybody was interested. Everyone said Sean Mannion's so brilliant, yet nobody interviewed him other than the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I've woken up in this, had this idea of like, so wait, I'm in a cold sweat, just thinking he has the same type of introductory press conference, or I should say first press conference, where he's like Nick Sirianni, where you just look at him and be like, nope, not for him.
Doug had that intro too, right?
Yeah,
They've had a couple.
Doug did not go well.
I thought Doug nailed it. I thought Doug's introductory press conference was fantastic. In all honesty, I thought Sirianni was the worst I've ever seen. I thought Doug was great. I thought Doug tried to be, and I thought he came off well as like a leader in the room at least, which is all I was looking for.
Well, his problem was he was trying to justify that 3rd and 4th down play for KC.
Oh yeah. Because he was calling plays in the second half.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Yeah. I still don't buy a lot of that. But
you're right, the Knicks was the worst. I mean, I've probably ever seen.
Nick was like, all right, you're going to do a book report, but don't read the book. Okay. Like, that's what it looked like. So if Sean Mannion doesn't command the room, I'll even give, like, Shane Steichen to me from day one, just even before he called a play, I was like, this guy has a control of the room. That's all you're really looking for. Like, if you're looking for anything, that's all it is. Right. I mean, on the other side of that, Sean Desai seemed like he had control of the room. These are press conferences we're breaking down, okay? But if Sean Mannion goes out there and just looks like a guy that's nervous, unsure of himself, this is a guy that has no experience calling plays, as we've talked about. This is a guy with far less experience than Kevin Patullo as a coach in the NFL. And now you're giving the keys to the kingdom and coaching hires under him. You're giving those keys to Sean Mannion, say, save the day. Not a lot of leash there for him, unfortunately.
I will say though, like Nick's press conference was terrible, and I think all things considered, he's been a successful head coach. Kellen Moore was a little awkward with interviews, and he was your play caller when you won a Super Bowl. So I hope that he comes in and he exudes confidence and looks like he has command. Because again, there is a lot of stock being put into Sean Mannion in 2026. There's a lot riding on this kid, but this guy, not even a kid. But
Wow.
at the same time, like I don't know, press conferences in Eagles history sometimes don't work out, and the coach still does. So
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the quarterback
wonder,
thinks
like-
he's amazing. That's all that matters.
Here, I'll
He's
read
amazing.
I'll read the full excerpt. I'll read the
Go
full
ahead.
excerpt. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know where he said nodding. Maybe I just missed it, but here you go. So Jalen Hurts is in the classroom promoting his new book, his children's book, and all that. So the paragraph that has the amazing quote, I just want to stress for people, the reason I only said, quote, amazing, it's because that's it. There's no long paragraph of a quote from Jalen Hurts. I assume how this worked was Zach agreed to go to the classroom where Jalen was speaking. And in a deal maybe to, this is speculation, to, hey, I'll plug the book, of course, but if you let me sit in the classroom, that'd be great. They probably let him sit in. Maybe he got a second with Jalen where he walked by him. I don't know. And he just said, this is the full paragraph that it contains the amazing clip. It's why Jalen Hurts is in a classroom during the first week of free agency. The scheduling is coincidental, planned well before he knew the NFL calendar. Hurts is aware of what's happened in the NFL. He's been in touch with departed Eagles, and he called the new Eagles offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, amazing. But he has also said he's, quote, still at this point in the offseason, while, quote, very determined, end quote, to improve. So maybe the head nodding was talked about elsewhere.
yeah,
But from just that part as well, the thought that just popped in my head is maybe Jalen took a couple questions from the kids, maybe a teacher in the room. Somebody said, hey, what about Sean Mannion?
Tell me about your childhood.
oh, do you
They
think
needed
he was
that
just
kid
talking
there.
like he's talking to kids? He just uses big words like amazing, but
Yeah.
maybe he
Amazing.
doesn't think that.
Man, yeah, Timmy in the back.
It's
Hey,
like when
what's the offensive corner like? Oh, he sucks, man. Anyway, next question. You know?
maybe that
He's
changes
ass.
things. Actually, yeah, the context of the quote might, if it was in a classroom to children, that might change my thought on it.
We leave no stone unturned. We got
What a
press
breakdown,
conferences we're breaking down. We got the usage of big words to small children. This is great. Anyway, nothing says the offseason more like that. You know what I mean? All right. We haven't gotten enough into Dallas Goedert yet. We have talked about Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown signing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Our main takeaway from that is you're looking at maybe a third wide receiver for the Eagles, certainly not somebody that is going to be a replacement for A.J. Brown in the event that he is traded. We'll talk about Dallas Goedert when we return because that deal does have some concerns. All that and more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show. And now it's time to tell you about Robinhood. Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You could buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving action when momentum shifts. You can move with it. I always knew the game. You always knew the game, but never in a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now you can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. That's Robinhood. Dallas Goedert is back with the Philadelphia Eagles. Me, happy. Everyone else happy Dallas Goedert's back with the Eagles?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas Goedert for the
I'm
second
mystified.
consecutive Dallas Goedert takes another pay cut, second consecutive year of taking a pay cut to stay with the Philadelphia Eagles. Harry, I'll ask you first. Up to $7 million? What, 4.3, 4.5 guaranteed? Remarkably low, I think, for a tight end of Dallas Goedert's talents.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this on the surface, this looks great for the Eagles because they get a quality player in their offense and at a position that would have been of serious need had Goedert going on elsewhere, but I'm just like mystified by the fact that he's still with the Eagles and only for this amount of money and only for 1 year. I mean, I'm just like, I have questions. Is there something wrong with Dallas Goedert?
Does he want to be an
ticking
Eagle
time
this bad?
bomb? Yeah, I mean, I love the loyalty and this doesn't happen in modern day sports.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think he just might really want to end his career in Philadelphia, because when you add context to it with other free agent signings, like Charlie Kohler has never had a 200, 300-yard receiving season. He got $8 million a year. Daniel Bellinger signs with the Tennessee Titans at $8 million a year as well. He's never had more than 300 receiving yards in a season either. Dallas Goedert's coming off a 11 touchdown regular season. He had 2 touchdowns in the playoffs, a career high in receptions. He's been an established complete tight end 1 forever. I mean, Marc even last offseason said skill set wise, when he's at the peak of his powers, could be a 3rd best tight end in the league. Yeah. And he's taking $3 million less than last year, where he had to take a $4 million pay cut. So it is unbelievable the value they are getting out of Dallas Goedert. I mean, $7 million is a steal.
Has he negotiated with Jeffrey Lurie for a future chunk of the team after he retires from playing? I mean, it's just like, this is just mind-blowing to me.
He agreed to push the void back twice, right? And didn't even really test the market.
He didn't even really test it.
He had leverage.
He had all the leverage in the world.
$20 million cap hit leverage.
And the Eagles got him to take $3 million less than the $4 million pay cut of last year.
There are a few things. I mean, I don't consider myself to be a bright man, but there are a couple of things that really make me stare at my phone and go, like a confused dog, with the head tilt, like what? Yeah. And Dallas Goedert back, and I'm like, oh yeah, what? So, $14 million he was scheduled to make last year. They were renegotiated. They guaranteed him $10 million.
10.
So credit to them for that. So then he essentially has the bet on yourself year. He scores a franchise record 11 touchdowns in that season. He had 7 touchdowns in his first 7 games last year. Then he gets forgotten about for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And then he breaks out again for 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games that he played. What am I missing here?
And he played the games. Like it wasn't an injured year.
He missed 1 game. The last game of the season he rested, but he really missed 1 game. He had a career high in games played, career high in touchdowns, franchise high in touchdowns. It was one of the best red zone targets in the entire NFL.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there something terribly wrong with a knee, an ankle?
I don't know. He was part of the only shred of creativity that we gave this offense in the first couple of months.
And think about it this way, too. The tush push absolutely died last year in the red zone. You needed Dallas Goedert to step up the way he did. He single-handedly kind of replaced the tush push in the red zone, and you still, even after losing that automatic play and just completely threw it out of your playbook, you still were a top-tier red zone offense. So, the only thing I can think of, because even with his age and the injuries, you just look at the other contracts other tight ends got. Like, I like Isaiah Likely, but he got $13 million a year to go to New York. $6 million more than Dallas Goedert. Cade Otton got $10 million. Dallas Goedert's a better player than all these names I've said. So the only thing I can think of is that he just does not want to leave this football team. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, if you'll indulge as I give an analogy here. I just bought a shirt. Okay, I just bought a shirt off Amazon. I needed a shirt. I bought a shirt. It was like really, really cheap, more cheap than I would ever assume. I like the shirt. I got the shirt. The shirt fits great. It feels great. I'm waiting for buttons to fall off. Okay, because I know what I paid.
Bargain.
It was such a bargain. I'm just waiting for buttons to fall. If I get a year out of this shirt, I'll be shocked. I'll be doing cartwheels. You know what I mean? The minute, because I'm a big believer in you get what you pay for, and what the Eagles are paying right now for Dallas Goedert is like below a bargain rate. This is a cheap rate for a guy who's coming off an 11 touchdown season. Oh, and by the way, you've already brought in or re-signed 1 tight end that you're hoping, can be a pass catching tight end in Grant Calcaterra. That's a bargain low price too, like up to $2 million for a year. And then you're also looking at, again, Jeremy Munt to be the blocking tight end to throw his weight around. I am expecting so little from Dallas Goedert in this deal, but yet I am happy to have him back on this team. But the money makes me question, what the hell did the Eagles pay for here? other than maybe another drop-off year from Dallas Goedert, maybe not being nearly as involved in the blocking game and only being a pass-catching tight end.
Well, I mean, look, if you know that you're going to bring in somebody that's going to be more of that run blocker, we don't have all the information yet. That's the problem. We don't know how he's going to be deployed, and we don't know how many other people are willing to pay him more. You think about this. We look at Brent Selleck. He was a good blocking tight end, right?
Mm-hmm. Became one. He wasn't good when he started, but he became one.
Became one. In his entire career, Selleck ended up with 4,998 yards in 175 games in the NFL. Dallas Goedert has 4,676 yards in 108 games. He has 35 career touchdowns. Selleck in his career as an Eagle only had a total of 31, yet he's played close to 70 games more. So I think I'm surprised at the number. I guess for a couple years in a row now that the league is not enamored with him. And your money value is what the league determines it is. What you're willing to take and what somebody's willing to give. I'm surprised by
injuries,
it.
But
yeah, I mean, he only had 2 games last year.
What else is it? That's the thing. He only missed 2 games. The blocking definitely regressed last year, but NFL teams are looking for these kind of receiving threats at tight ends so badly. Like they want this kind of player. The fact that, and again, he didn't really test the market, so who knows, but the fact that he just keeps signing 1-year deals, I mean, his agent's got to know that if there's a much better market out there, he's got to at least explore it and maybe come back to Philly.
He's not his own agent, is he? Because we've had that with players in this league.
I don't think he is.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I don't think he is his own agent. I think he has representation.
Howie would love a guy to represent himself.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? He'd be like
play for a
candy
box
store.
of chocolates. Yeah.
No, he's got an agent because Howie Roseman even said at the combine that at his press conference that they were going to talk to his agent next week.
Okay.
So he's
Okay,
got
that's
someone.
true. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, yeah. No, I think Howie would be a lion. Looking at him like a piece of meat in a lion's den. Yeah. Okay. Come on in, pal. You'll be an intern for us by the time I'm done with you. When it comes to this Dallas Goedert deal, though, I think it does beg the question: why is it so little? Because he is so much better than that deal. But on the other side of it, I still think he's a talented tight end. I think he can still catch the football. He could still be a great red zone target. And you're also looking for an offense that supposedly is going to be more up tempo, maybe spreading the ball out a little bit more.
A lot of under center play action, using the middle of the field. Like you could use this kind of play, especially in a year where Jalen is going to be forced to grow, to have a guy that he trusts and has this kind of chemistry with. His longest tenured weapon. I mean, he's been with Dallas since 2020. To have this kind of guy back in the offense in such a pivotal year, I think is crucial.
Chase Callahan is his agent. Apparently.
There we go.
Okay.
Not Chase Utley, Harry.
No.
He's going on the Wall of Fame this year.
I will say, though, I would like to draft the tight end still on day 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the group of 3 they have, but give me like a second, third round player still.
Yeah.
Because it's only a 1-year deal, right? I don't want to keep being reactive at tight end like they've been.
Yeah, Grant Calcaterra to me is a camp body right now. I think they could easily draft.
Didn't love them bringing him back, but
no, I thought that ship had sailed at the end of last year. But it's a familiar body, and they needed a guy. They got a guy right now. Now you're going to go into the draft, hopefully bring in somebody else. But yeah, okay. So here's my question to you guys before we go to the next break here, and it's just a blink anyway. But here's my question to you. So AJ doesn't look like he's getting traded anytime soon, if he's traded at all. And even if you think he's traded, June 1st looks like it is going to be the line of demarcation. Dallas Goedert's back. What's the next move? What do you think is the next big thing we see about the Eagles? They've added another wide receiver, of course, in Marquise Brown, who we've talked about. What's the next big? My guess is it's the draft. That's the next big thing we see for the hot names in free agency or trades. I don't think that happens. Whether you're talking about Max Crosby, obviously Trey Hendrickson's not happening. Any of these other moves that are out there, I don't think anything happens with the Philadelphia Eagles of great significance, including an A.J. Brown trade, until right around the draft. I think that's the next thing that we're going to be looking forward to. Do you guys foresee anything else happening? And if it is the draft, what's the number one priority there?
37 days away is the draft.
Well, when does the free agency start?
Well, free agency's already started.
We're already in it.
Yeah. But so the draft is the next
it became official.
League mile marker.
Yeah, 37 days away is the opening.
Yeah, I mean, they could trade for. There's been the rumors that they've been talking with Minnesota about Jonathan Grenard. Like, could you get him for a third round pick? Safety, there is a glaring hole now that Reed Blankenship's gone, but the safety pool has been picked completely clean. So unless there's like a trade that I'm not thinking of, there's not a free agent left outside of like bringing back Marcus Epps, and that's not like a huge move like you're talking about. So yeah, anything of significance left, I think probably is on draft day.
Is this Ebiketie move, is that going to go by the boards of like an Ojulari or an Uche?
I don't think so. I really like that signing, but a lot of people are skeptical that I don't think it's moving the needle enough for people. I've been a big fan of Ebiketie. I think it's a move that he's going to be a solid top 3 rotational guy, in my opinion.
Okay, there's another Penn State guy that has yet to live up to his billing.
10th highest pass rush win rate last year, and he had the number 1 pressure rate in football from weeks 12 to 17. Like there were times he was.
Temple, thank you very much.
I'm just saying, like that group had 2 first-round picks in Atlanta and a proven veteran, and there were a lot of games where Ebiketie was like their most consistent pass rusher. I'm not saying he's going to be Jalen Phillips, but for $7 million,
put him next to Jalen Carter.
I think people just see 1-year deal and they're like, they see 2 sacks last year and they say this is a nothing burger, but. I think there's a middle ground between that and what you would have got if you traded for Max Crosby. I think he's a solid 3. I think he's a solid third guy.
Is that the next thing? Jalen Carter contract.
Oh, good point. Sounds like they're working on an extension. So yeah.
You got Jordan Davis locked up, obviously, earlier this offseason.
Yeah.
Thank God they're not.
Carter ain't going anywhere.
Trade rumors didn't pick up. That was driving me nuts.
No, that was a bunch.
Like you cannot get rid of
it. It's agent driven, just trying to drive the number up.
Yeah.
Like
you know where that big move
comes from easily, right?
I feel like I just heard though. Let me just go back to this. I feel like we heard 4 different pronunciations of Arnold
Ebiketie.
I thought it was Katie. I thought it was a long A.
Ebiketie, but we're gonna have to check that one out.
Agree to disagree. I haven't been to Cameroon anytime soon, so I don't know. I did want to mention one thing. You did bring him up, Louie. So let me just throw this to you real quick. He's from Cameroon. 4 years at Temple, but only played like 1 year his freshman year, so still had a year eligibility. Went to Penn State, flourished. Credit to him, flourished. 17.5 tackles for loss. He's a 30, and Louis, I think this is to the point of other people that look at it as not such a great deal. 38th overall pick, so a high second round pick. All right, a good high second round pick.
Yeah, that's high.
Impressive. Yeah. Okay, 6 sacks, 2 sacks the last 3 years, and in the last 2 years. The Falcons have drafted 3rd rounder higher, 2 edge rushers, and a flat out D end. So it's like they didn't have that much confidence in him.
And I think one of the guys got in trouble, didn't he?
Yeah, James Pierce, their first round pick.
Thank you, James Pierce.
But it depends on. I agree. I'm not saying Ebiketie is coming in here and going to be the number 1. Like he's not replacing Jalen Phillips. So it depends on what perspective you're coming from. I think he's a really solid 3rd guy, a fastball off the edge that an obvious passing downs can impact the quarterback way more than Josh Uche did last year or Azeez Ojulari. But I think a lot of people were expecting the Eagles to come into this offseason, and if it's not Jalen Phillips, bring in that alpha guy because everybody's seen them tied with the Micah Parsons trade rumors and Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. But I think this organization is also a lot higher on Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt than people are talking about. So I don't know if they want that kind of player, but with as many elite players that they have on the inside, I don't know. Like when you look at the Eagles Super Bowl runs, have they ever had like an alpha number 1 edge rusher that's had 15 sacks a year when we win championships? It's like, they've always kind of had a rotation of a bunch of really solid guys, but maybe never one truly great guy. So I'm not panicking at edge, and I think this is a solid move.
Okay, so then with this as their edge acquisition, 1st round pick, offensive lineman.
It's got to be tackle, right? I mean, or receiver. Right? The draft will be very telling what happens with AJ Brown post June 1st. If they trade up for a wide receiver on day 1, he is as good as gone. So I think it's got to be right tackle or wide receiver. But if it's edge, I wouldn't be surprised because again, Ebiketie isn't a number 1. So
you can't have too many of them either. They're like
cornerbacks. And what BG is going to be your 4th right now? I think ideally he's the 5th guy at that spot who rushes on the interior a lot. So there's still a move that can be made.
Yeah. And still nothing is done with Brandon Graham that is definite yet.
No.
Right. He said coming back. That's a good point. He said he's coming back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think that's also another problem, though. I certainly agree that if anyone's looking at Ebukati to be
We'll
the
get it
number
right
one
next
guy.
week.
We'll get it right. That's ridiculous. I just don't. It's not happening. But I think the other problem is that there is no clear-cut number one. Like I like Nolan Phillips. I like Jalix Hunt.
But who was their
there's no
number one
guy.
obvious guy in 2017 and 2024? Like Josh Sweat had 8 sacks in 2024.
Yeah,
You know what I
Sweat
mean?
broke out obviously in the Super Bowl, which is the
Right.
time you need him the most. But yeah, he was never that big sack number guy, and the Eagles really haven't had that since Hassan Reddick. So I do understand that, but that doesn't mean that you don't want it. You know what I mean?
of
That
course.
one clear-cut number one guy. All right. When we come back, Darius Slay, speaking of guys not playing, Darius Slay calls it a career. How we remember Slay. Talk about that after this blink of a break. He's done. Darius Slay did not go and play for the Buffalo Bills. He's made it known that he wants to retire as a Philadelphia Eagle. We'll see if he gets the opportunity to do that. How will you remember Darius Slay, Jason Martinez?
Big play Slay. Unfortunately, his wife is part of the equation, and her Twitter presence is part of the equation.
Yeah.
No, but what he brought, I thought was really important.
Mm-hmm.
He brought swagger.
His swagger.
He had confidence, man. Sometimes, especially when young players
It
come
goes
in,
with that position, though. You have to have it, man.
you have to. And even when you don't have it, you have to be able to fake that you have it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they know you don't have it, you're dead man walking.
Yeah.
So I think that was an element that he brought that was really important.
Yeah.
And for a lot to expose that to some younger players. He was a good player, a long career, He was a good Eagle.
He had
He
some
was noisy
swag.
sometimes.
Yeah, I like that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I like noisy players sometimes.
But if you back it up,
He has some personality. Like you said, his wife's Twitter feed was very active.
she wasn't afraid to go toe-to-toe.
It gave us some content back in the sports radio days on the slow days. So I
She made a hell of a
appreciate that.
banana pudding, though. I had some of it at a tailgate.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty
Oh,
good.
there you go.
I like the fact that he came in, made no bones about who he was, and his brashness and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I think in Philadelphia, as long as you're authentic, and whatever your authentic is, and you're willing to work hard, and that's part of it, then we got no problems with you.
Right.
He came in here and he was authentic. He talked the talk. He walked the walk. His game obviously eroded pretty quickly here at the end, but that is what it is. It happens to everybody.
Well, and he
So, no, I remember him
stabilized.
fondly.
And he stabilized a position that was in dark times for years.
Constant flux.
In between Asante Samuel and Darius Slay, it was a lot of bad for years. So bringing him in for just a 3rd and a 5th round pick in 2020, he was the first true. He was a star at one point. I mean, he was an all-pro in a season in 2021. 2022, him and James Bradbury were great together. I know he got hurt a lot in 2024, but when he was on the field, he was pretty effective. I'll always see those 5 years in a very high, in a really bright light, because he also was really instrumental in helping Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean along, right? I mean,
Great.
Quinyon, even back, I remember interviewing him at the Senior Bowl. He said, the guy I emulate my game off the most is Darius Slay. So, yeah, I think he was only here for 5 years, but it was a pretty impactful 5 seasons. And, again, they were just
Pro Bowls.
3 Pro Bowls. I'll never forget the Monday night game where he erases Justin Jefferson. I've never seen a dominant performance like that
Blanketed
outside
him.
of maybe Q this year in Tampa Bay. So it was one of the better trades Howie has made over the last decade.
Yeah,
Now,
he passed
it's
the baton beautifully to Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does
of course.
NBC Sports Philly hire him as part of their Eagles shows?
Oh, God, I hope so.
Pre-game,
I hope they hire his wife.
post-game.
Get him in when BG ever hangs it up.
Yeah,
Those
Get his
two,
wife
right?
in the tunnel, evaluating, players' drip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, just get Darius Slay on that panel. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how it
There
works.
you go.
Yeah.
I will say this. You mentioned 2024, Louie. I didn't think he was particularly good. I mean, when he was on the field, he was okay, but he was every game, it was like my knee
It was like
hurts.
Jason Peters. He's limping halfway through
Yeah.
the third
Yeah.
quarter on a
But
weekly
man,
basis. Yeah,
When the
Yeah,
playoffs
yeah.
started, he emptied the chamber.
100%.
He played phenomenal in the playoffs. And yeah,
Exactly.
as far as the transition of power when it comes to the cornerback position for the Eagles, him talking about, I want Quinyon to live with me. Like that stuff. That's
That's worth
fantastic.
so much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's like something the hockey players do.
yeah.
It is.
You're not staying in the hotel anymore. Move
Yeah.
in with me.
No,
Hang out with the boys. We'll play a little foosball.
That was a big hockey
is.
thing
It
back then.
is.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
is it still?
Oh, yeah.
I
it
know
is.
back in
Oh,
the day
yeah.
it was. That was a big thing.
Well, he was in Detroit. Detroit's close to Windsor.
Yeah.
Right.
These are on
Yeah,
Terry.
maybe
Those
he's
are
got a little-
Spitfires. That's right. Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
It's just right. It's right,
Right now,
across
Denver Barkey, they got him out of the hotel. He's living with Zegers down in Old City,
Oh boy.
Oh,
See, I
yeah.
knew it. I knew it.
hanging with the boys, huh?
There we
There you go.
I mean, I don't know what you do with Denver. You go, we're going out to the bar. First of all, you're not old enough yet to get in.
Yeah.
And second of all, you don't look nearly close
Right.
to being old enough to get in.
All right. Wow.
Barkey looks like a pup.
boys.
So did our boy Derek Gunn get his X feed back after being hacked?
Everybody's getting hacked here, huh?
Didn't see that.
I don't.
Did you see
I
it?
don't know.
I pointed it out to Farzy because I'm like,
Yes.
these boys with him. You got to check in on him, man, because
I
apparently
did.
he owns a Lamborghini or whatever the hell it was.
I think the way this one works is it sends you like a DM, like vote for me for some podcast thing or something.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Spotify. I've gotten about 20
Yeah.
requests. I haven't
spike
done
'em
one
all.
of them. Yeah.
Spike it. Yeah, that's how they get in.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Degatano, I got 2 of them from his account.
Yeah.
Oh, from Dutch's account
Yep.
in the past week. And I know he's probably gotten hacked. So
Yep.
these hackers, they got nothing better to do, Harry.
I don't know, man.
To answer your question, it looks like no, he has
No.
not gotten his account back.
Ah, jeez.
Not yet.
Well, he needs
So
it
apparently
back.
there's a lot more. It used to be you just change
So
the
if you see an-
password.
If you see an AJ Brown trade break on Derek Gunn's social, don't believe it.
Don't believe
Yeah.
it. No, don't
If
believe
if
it.
AJ Brown's been traded and it's brought to you by some crypto company,
Right.
then
Yeah,
you know
Bitcoin.
it's not there. Yeah, there you go.
He was traded for 9.7 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
To see
How
how
we got
much
a
he
real
was
bargain.
traded for, please enter your social security number.
and routing number right here.
That's a show, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you liking and subscribing. Louie DiBiase right there in your bottom left-hand corner has you covered each and every day for your Locked On Eagles YouTube content. So make sure you like and subscribe Locked On Eagles YouTube. Jason Martinez, Harry Mays, and I got you covered with Louie the rest of the week when it comes to 2 shows a week, Locked On Eagles Squad Show. So make sure you guys like and subscribe for all that and more. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys later in the week. See you guys then. Bye.